Quinn! I love you. I love you, Quinn! You're amazing! You're the captain of my favorite hockey team! Absolutely one of the most outstanding players in the NHL. But even though I have this strong affinity towards the Vancouver Canucks and the man who captains the team, I can't go out there and totally say he's playing the best. And it's not even like, oh, he's playing badly. It's just, he's playing a lot differently. And that differently is, for better or for worse, hurting the team's performance. Yeah, I'm sorry. I really don't want to go out there and ever make a video about Quinn Hughes in a negative light, but I wanted to dive into some things here, because Quinn, 26 years old, signed on till the end of 2027, making $7.8 million a year. We all know the situation with him and his contract, and him and his brothers, and New Jersey, etc., etc. There's a lot going on with this player and his familial situation. But this year, Quinn Hughes is on pace for about 51 points in 82 games played. He's got 5 points in 8 games played. The only goal he has is the empty net that he had. And he hasn't had a point in 3 games, Now, it doesn't help when Quinn and his hockey team, they only get 2 goals in 2 games over here versus Pittsburgh and Nashville. We'll see what happens later today against the Montreal Canadiens, especially if the Habs end up starting Jakub Dobeš, who has been really, really hot as of late. A literal .950 save percentage goalie in the NHL. It's ridiculous. But I wanted to turn your attention over to a Reddit thread that was posted by ToughShape3621. It's titled, Quinn Hughes is doing too much. By that, I mean, I think he's trying a bit too hard out there. I get that our offense is severely depleted at the moment, and he's trying to be a spark plug, but I think Hughes is overcomplicating his game a bit too much. It seems like every time he is out there, he's trying to force offense that isn't necessarily there. And we can see that it's clearly taken a toll on him as well. In the second period, there was a time where I think I saw 3 different D-men rotate, and he was out there for a crazy long time. I play defense myself, and when you're crunching tons of minutes, you have to choose and allocate how much energy you're willing to exert at each end of the ice. As a result, I think he's cheating on the defensive end quite a bit. We need Hughes, but we need to limit his minutes more and utilize one of the few strengths we have on this team, which is icing our 6 capable D-men. I believe he is much better, and the team is much better when he is opportunistic offensively, but also composed defensively. So that's a pretty reasonable thought to have. Quinn Hughes might be overcompensating a little bit. He might be trying a little bit too hard to make things happen offensively, and thus it costs him some defensive capability, and the offense push just isn't working as much as it could be. Let's go out there and read some of the comments, shall we? The top comment from Coin Talk says, Hughes is very stat-focused. He mentioned being hyper-aware of his lack of goals during a point in the last season. He is absolutely thinking about how little he's done for the team offense so far, and it's compounding into him puck-hogging and overthinking. He's thinking about his fantasy league and getting shots on goal. Like, okay, we're not gonna fully agree with that. Nah, Quinn is thinking we need a goal here, and I'm the only one that can do it. Which, to be honest, might be correct. I've had the same thoughts playing a sport at obviously much lower levels. I need to go for the low percentage play because my teammates aren't good enough to execute. It generally doesn't work, but I think that's more of a thing here than Quinn Hughes wanting to stat hog. So, various perspectives on whether or not Quinn is trying to boost up his numbers, or he just doesn't really trust the teammates around him to actually create and finish off plays. Another reply from Captain Indo-Canadian says, Quinn Hughes is playing hero ball. He still loves his point shots. He doesn't pass to the first read and does a Lane Hudson impersonation before shooting into shins. You're right. Doing way too much. Like, in what world is this the right decision? He shot this puck over here. And this was specifically one of the moments in the Nashville game that I was calling out on my YouTube video as well. Quinn Hughes has a wide open lane for Elias Pettersson at the top there, and instead of using the option, he decides to shoot this puck himself. This was on the power play, I'm pretty sure, and it's one of those moments where I was like, man, you gotta pass. You gotta pass it to Petey, bro. He's wide open. He's right there. Sure, there's a player in front of Petey. Maybe it would have been blocked, but at least you give the opportunity to other players on your squad and you move the puck around a little bit more. If it doesn't work, you send it over to Petey, then Petey will just give it back to you, and then you can give it back to Petey again. You don't need to force a shot here when there's so much space open on other parts of the ice. Literally, they're saying here, Petey poised and open for a one-timer. I think the makeup of the team is fueling Quinn's frustration, and it's getting the better of him. Petey's open, but how many times has he scored from that position over the past 20 months? I don't think that's a reason not to try, but I get it. Now, another reply goes out there and tries to debate the legitimacy as to whether or not this shot for Petey is even a realistic option. That seems to be the pattern that Vancouver has these days. Cheat towards Petey and let Hughes skate around the outside until he inevitably skates into his own teammate and it turns into a turnover, or he throws a muffin from the blue line into a sea of bodies. And PKs barely have a man disadvantage because both DeBrusk and Besser sit stationary in coverage down low and don't present any threat, and Garland doesn't know how to position on a power play, nor is his shot really a threat either. This is where the Vancouver Canucks are desperately missing Miller's shot on the left, Horvat in the bumper, or Kuzmenko in front to actually split attention. Man, I really love this right up here, just talking about how Vancouver's power play makeup is hurting the team because every other player knows that Quinn Hughes is the only realistic option that they have to shoot and actually have any dangerous implications here. Oh man, the days of Kuzmenko, Bo, and JT... they're gone in this city, aren't they? Let's go out and read some more comments over here. Quinn is also tunnel visioning. In the game against St. Louis, just before the Blues scored on the empty net, Hughes wound up a slow slapper right into the defender's shin pads and it went the other way. He didn't need to shoot right away. There was more than 2 minutes left on the clock. Yeah, I remember that. It was Jake Neighbors, was it not? I don't know, it was just a few games ago after all. For all the reading he does to avoid this very situation, I don't know if he'd actually listen to somebody if somebody told him this is exactly what letting the pressure gets to you looks like. 8 games in, and no one on the team looks like they're having fun, and I'm not sure the captain realizes that times like these require a different kind of leading than the serious on-ice example. So, ultimately, there are a bunch of things that you can say about Vancouver Canucks captain Quinn Hughes at the moment. I love the guy. He's an amazing hockey player. He is, in my heart, the best defenseman in the world when he is on his game, but he hasn't been on his game lately. And we've been talking here and there about how suspicious it is, what's going on with this guy, etc., but now I think it's like, yeah, we have very tangible things to latch onto, ideas that can explain what's been going on with this player, and I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as to whether or not you agree or disagree. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit the like button. If you didn't, the dislike button's there for you too. Comments help out with the algorithm, so I'd really appreciate if you got involved there. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.